The first human ship to cross beyond mapped space did not arrive triumphantly. It drifted in like someone who had taken a wrong turn and refused to admit it. Captain Elia stared at the console, tapping it twice as if that would convince it to behave. "I'm telling you," she said. It blinked at me first. The navigation system remained silent, which only made it more suspicious. They had expected emptiness, silence, maybe a poetic moment. Instead, the sensors lit up like a festival. Signals layered, structured, deliberate, not static, not natural. Someone out there had been waiting, or at least watching long enough to leave breadcrumbs. "Okay," muttered one of the engineers. "Who invited the universe to start talking back?" Before anyone could answer, space itself seemed to fold, not violently, but like fabric being adjusted by careful hands. A vessel appeared without arriving, already there as if it had always been. It wasn't large, but it was wrong in ways their eyes couldn't fully explain. The crew collectively decided not to blink too much, just in case it disappeared again out of spite. The airlock chimed. "That's a not us, right?" someone asked. "No," Elia replied. "Unless one of you has been secretly welcoming guests." Silence, then a shrug. "Not this week." The door opened anyway. She stepped in with a calm that felt almost rehearsed. At first glance, she could have passed for human, if one ignored the small, undeniable detail. Her ears, long and slightly curved, catching the light as though they were tuned to something deeper than sound. Her gaze moved across the room, not scanning, not analyzing, recognizing. "Hello," she said. The crew, trained for first contact, responded with perfect professionalism. "Hi," Elia cleared her throat. "You boarded us without permission." "Yes," the woman replied gently. "It seemed faster." One of the engineers leaned toward another. "I like her already." The woman's lips curved slightly, as if she had heard that, and perhaps she had. "You have come far," she continued. "Further than expected." Elia folded her arms. "That doesn't sound reassuring." "It was not meant to be." A pause followed, heavy with questions no one quite knew how to ask. Then, inevitably, someone broke it. "So, is this the part where we panic? Or do we wait for instructions?" The woman tilted her head, those long ears shifting subtly. "You may do both," she said. No one moved for a moment, as if motion itself required a committee decision. Then the engineer who had already decided he liked her raised a hand. "Just to clarify," he said, "when you say we can panic, is there a recommended order, or do we freestyle it?" A few nervous laughs escaped, thin but real. The woman watched them with quiet focus, her long ears shifting slightly, as though adjusting to layers of sound beyond speech. "You use humor to stabilize yourselves," she said. "We use humor for everything," Elia replied. "Stability is a bonus." The woman stepped further inside without hesitation, as if the concept of permission was more of a suggestion where she came from. "We have been observing your species," she said. A groan rippled through the crew. "Oh no," someone muttered. "That includes the internet, doesn't it?" She paused. "If that is your term for the chaotic data network filled with contradictions, emotional outbursts, and images of small animals." "Yes." Elia pressed her fingers to her temple. "We're never living that down, are we?" "No," the woman answered calmly. Silence followed again, though this time it was less sharp, more curious. Elia stepped closer. "You said we came further than expected." "Expected by who?" "By many," she said. "Not all of them agree on what should happen next." "That's comforting," the engineer said. "Nothing like cosmic disagreement." The woman's gaze lingered on him. "Your advancement is irregular. Rapid in some areas, inefficient in others. You solve complex equations and then forget where you placed your tools." "That's not a species trait," he protested. "That's just me." "It is not only you." A faint smile spread across a few faces. Even Elia's posture eased slightly. "So what are we to you?" she asked. "A problem? A curiosity?" The woman considered this, her expression unreadable. "A decision." That word settled heavily in the room. Before anyone could respond, the ship's systems flickered. Not a failure, an intrusion. Data streams unfolded across the screens, patterns too precise to be accidental. Coordinates, signals, fragments of something larger. "We did not come alone," the woman said quietly. Elia's eyes narrowed. "Define we." The woman looked toward the stars beyond the hull. "Those who watch, those who wait, and those who are already deciding." The engineer exhaled slowly. "Great," he said. "We just got here and we're already being judged." "Yes," she replied. "You are." The silence that followed felt different this time. Not empty but waiting. Like a held breath no one wanted to release first. Elia stepped forward, no longer glancing at the others for confirmation. "Then let them decide with all the information," she said. "Not just what you observed from a distance." The woman's long ears shifted slightly. "They are observing now." "Good," Elia replied. "Then they can hear this clearly." She tapped the console, not because it needed it, but because she did. "We are not efficient. We argue. We make terrible decisions and then joke about them like it fixes everything. Sometimes it actually does." "That is not a convincing defense," the woman said. "It's not a defense," Elia answered. "It's context." One of the engineers raised a hand again. "Also, we brought snacks. I feel like that's important diplomatically." Elia didn't look back. "Not helping." "It might," he insisted. "You don't know their stance on snacks." The woman watched them, something shifting behind her calm. "You face uncertainty with openness," she said. "We face it with whatever works," Elia replied. "Fear, jokes, stubbornness. Mostly stubbornness." The data streams across the screens intensified, then stabilized, as if something vast had reached a conclusion. Coordinates rearranged, signals aligned, patterns resolving into something almost simple. "A decision has been made," the woman said. Elia crossed her arms. "And," a pause, "just long enough to feel intentional. They will not erase you." A collective exhale filled the room, followed immediately by the engineer whispering, "That was one of the options?" "Yes," the woman said. "Good to know," he muttered. "Really boosts morale." Elia let out a short breath, then straightened. "Not erase us is a low bar." "It is the first threshold," the woman replied. "You have crossed it." "And the next?" The woman stepped closer, no hesitation now. "Coexistence. Observation will continue. Interaction will increase. Your species will not be guided, but it will not be alone." Elia studied her, then nodded slowly. "That's complicated." "Yes." Another silence, but this one felt lighter, almost manageable. The engineer leaned back against the console. "So no war?" The woman considered the question. "Not today." "Peace?" he pressed. She tilted her head slightly. "Not exactly." Elia allowed herself a small, tired smile. "Figures." She looked around at her crew, at the ship that had stumbled its way into something far bigger than any of them had planned. For the first time, she didn't feel like they were out of place. "All right," she said. "We'll take complicated." The woman's expression softened, just enough to notice. "That," she said, "is why you were not erased." "High praise," the engineer murmured. "We should put that on a plaque." Elia almost laughed. And this time, she didn't stop herself.